Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be testing out yet another new foundation. I feel like I've been testing a lot of foundations recently, but we're gonna jump right into it. We're gonna be testing out this new foundation from Givenchy. It is called the Skin Caring Glow Foundation. So lots to say about it. We're gonna jump right into it. Before we do, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel and hit that notification bell so you can be notified when I upload. And if you guys are not following me on Instagram, definitely head over to my Instagram and check out my page there. I have a goal to reach 10,000 by May, so we'll see if it happens. So let's go ahead and jump into this foundation. So this foundation retails for $49. You get a full fluid ounce, which is 30 mils, and it comes in 30 different shades. Now, I picked up 2 shades, which I will, of course, swatch these shades for you next to some of the other foundations that I have in my collection. But I just have to tell you, the shade W310 is probably the closest shade match I've ever had to my skin. Out of all of my foundations, and I have a lot of foundations, this is the closest shade match to my natural skin. It's unbelievable. And I was so surprised when I was applying it. I just could not believe. You will see on the application, it is pretty incredible. And I don't have any self-tanner on my face either. And I was blown away that it matched me that well. So if you guys are new to my channel, up here on the screen is my skin type, how old I am. I always feel like it's very important for whoever is reviewing the foundation to let the audience know what they like and what they look for in foundations, because all of our preferences vary from person to person and different skin types. So I always think that that information is also very important. If you guys think that you might be closer to my skin tone, I will leave a full list of popular foundations on the market and what shades I wear in those foundations in the description box down below, so you can kind of go from there and use it as a guide to decide and determine what shade you should buy in this foundation. So this is described as a skin-loving foundation that delivers light, buildable coverage with skincare benefits. Foundation meets skincare as hydration and a look of flawless coverage blend into this one innovative formula. The complexion has the look of perfection with a sheer buildable finish, providing a radiant makeup result with up to 12 hours worth of glow. Hydrating, smoothing ingredients work to improve skin's quality over time with regular use. So that's the information on the foundation. In this review, I will be wearing this for the next couple of days. So when you guys are seeing this, this is my first day of using it and giving you guys my full thoughts on it after wearing it for several days. It's very hard for me to come on camera after wearing a foundation for just one day and determine whether I like it or not. I feel like with foundations especially, I really need to use them with different primers, different powders, and really get used to the formula before I give my overall thoughts on it. So I will probably wear this about 3 or 4 days. So in the video, we will be doing a 6-hour daylight check-in where I take you guys outside in the natural daylight so you guys can see how it looks. I zoom in extra close so you can see what it looks like on the skin. And then after wearing it for those couple of days, I will come back and do a 12-hour check-in. And in that 12-hour check-in, I will give my full final thoughts on the foundation and how it wore and if I like it or not. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the application portion of the video, and I will see you guys all in my final thoughts. Okay, let's go ahead and try on this new foundation. This will be the first time I've applied it. I went ahead and picked up 2 shades because I truly did not know what shade to get. At the end of the day, that's what it boils down to. Now, I have to admit, this is a very beautiful bottle. Solid glass, shiny black lid. Like, this is a very beautiful bottle. It really is. This is warm 310, and this is warm 370. So this is definitely a way better match for me right now. So I'm just gonna put, this is 2 pumps, which is probably too much, but you never know how much you need. I prefer applying my foundations with a brush and kind of apply an even layer all over the face, and then go in with a sponge and kind of really press it in so that I kind of get the best of both worlds. But for reviewing purposes, I will apply it on this side of the face with a brush, and I will kind of press it into the skin with a sponge. And then on this side, I will just do the sponge only. That's a good shade match. Really, really good shade match for me. It's almost the same color as my skin. Look at that. It's like, seriously, it is like a perfect shade match. I have several I'm going to go ahead and go in with the sponge. I have several foundations in my collection that match me really good, but this shade is like exactly my skin tone. Probably one of the best I've had so far. Okay, so that blended right in. I mean, that is so, so beautiful. Now you can tell that this is definitely a little shine. It's got some shine to it. So, I mean, that's what it's called. It's Skincare and Glow. So I'm not surprised that it's got some shine. I'm going to go on this side with a sponge only. So I'm done applying it, and you can see that I probably got a little bit better coverage with a sponge. I would say with a sponge, you get a medium. With a brush, you get a light medium. So I'm going to go ahead and add just like a half a drop here, and I'm just going to build it up and then press it into the skin with the sponge. Let's see how this builds, you know? I mean, it feels like such a like dewier foundation that it would build really easily. And the finish of this is reminding me of the Chanel Le Beige. Where is it? This one, the Healthy Glow. Is that what it's called? Yeah, the Healthy Glow. Although I have to mix the Chanel foundation with 2 different shades. This just reminds me of a very healthy, radiant foundation. But here's the thing. I'm hoping that I can powder this to make it last just a little bit longer. But it's so beautiful. I mean, it's so radiant and healthy. I feel like this is my skin without my imperfections, you know, really coming through. So the shade is just so perfect that I feel like this is just my skin. It's really beautiful. This is a pretty foundation. I have high hopes, you guys. Oh, I have high hopes. So I will powder it because I do need to film today, and this is pretty shiny to be sitting in front of lights. But I have high hopes for this because not only is the shade just beautiful, but the foundation itself is stunning. It just looks so beautiful and radiant and healthy. So that's it for the application portion of the video. The next time you guys see me will be in my 6-hour check-in. So I will see you guys then. Okay, so I wanted to go ahead and do a midday check-in just so you guys can see just how beautiful this foundation looks. So right now it is currently 6:18. So I'm sitting out here on my porch now that we're in the daylight savings. It doesn't get as dark as quick, which I love. So as I was looking at my skin, everything looks really beautiful. And I did go ahead and set this foundation with my Hourglass powder. Tomorrow I'm not going to wear it with any powder. I want to see how this wears without powder because I kind of feel like it's so dewy that it might slip and slide without powder. But this today I set it with my Hourglass translucent setting powder, and I put a little bit of my Charlotte Tilbury, what is it called? The Airbrush Flawless finishing powder right here in this area. So let's go ahead and zoom you guys in. So you can see that it looks absolutely beautiful over my texture. It's not looking makeup-y. I was able to build this up to a pretty decent medium coverage, and it's not looking makeup-y at all. I mean, it's looking really good. I don't have any complaints so far. I think it looks really beautiful. Very natural. But I am curious how this wears without powder. You know, it's always, you always wonder because it's so radiant and so dewy. I'm just curious how it wears without powder. So that's it for the 6-hour check-in. I will see you guys all in my 12-hour check-in, which will be my final thoughts. Okay, you guys, it is the next day, and I wanted to show you guys what this foundation looks like without any powder. So I had to leave earlier this morning to head to a doctor's appointment. So I left around 9 o'clock in the morning, and normally I just wouldn't wear makeup, but because I wanted to wear the foundation and continue to test it, I decided to go ahead and put it on. So the only thing that I have on is the foundation. I have the Josie Maran, I think it's called Juicy or something. I can't remember what that concealer is called, but it's like a really, really lightweight, kind of more hydrating concealer. So I have that concealer on, and then just the liquid bronzer and blush from Chantecaille, and that's it. I did put a little bit of highlighter on. Can't remember what the highlighter was. Oh, it's from Ilia, or Illa, or Isla, Ilia, I don't know. Anyway, so barely any makeup on. I didn't even do my brows. So I just basically did the complexion, but I didn't powder it today. And I wanted to test this without powder, also wearing a mask, right? Because I'm going to the doctor's. I also went to Trader Joe's, so I went in and did just a little bit of grocery shopping. So I had my mask on, and I wanted to see how this would wear without powder, wearing a mask. And I'm very pleasantly surprised with how well it wore. However, when I got in the car after, I went to the doctor and then went to Trader Joe's, got in the car, when I checked my face, you could see the line, from the mask. But all I did was just kind of take my finger and kind of go over it in the places where it had the line, and it looks beautiful. And I think because this foundation is like a perfect match for my natural skin tone, that I was able to do that and have it blend in very beautifully. I think traditionally, if I was wearing a foundation that was either a little bit too dark, which sometimes they do that, or a little bit too light, you can see it. But because this foundation is like my exact skin tone, you really couldn't tell that I had just kind of done that. And I went around my nose, and this looks really good. And I wanted to see how it would wear without powder. And surprisingly, yes, I am definitely reflecting off the lights. I'm just here in my kitchen. It was just easier to turn on the camera here in my kitchen than go all the way downstairs, turn on all my beauty lights and all of that. So, here I am in my kitchen again. But right now, it is currently 4:25 in the afternoon, and I applied this right around 9 o'clock this morning. So it's been on for what, 7 hours now? And I think it actually looks really, really beautiful. My skin is reflecting, yes, but in a very beautiful way. So yes, I prefer powder. So I would prefer this to be a little bit more powdered. But for those that don't wear powder, I wanted you guys to see how beautiful this is without powder. And even though I am reflecting, and even though my skin looks very shiny, on the flip side of that, even though it's shiny, which I do have a natural glow to my skin, so some of that is coming through the foundation, but even though it's got a little shine to it, it still doesn't feel super dewy. So, like if I zoom in on my forehead and I start pressing, you can see I'm kind of dewy, but I'm not like as bad as I thought I was going to be. And the thing about this is, even though I'm dewier, it isn't slipping and sliding on my face. For example, the Dior Natural Nude foundation that I just got done reviewing, that foundation, I have to wear powder with it. If I don't, it is all over my face. It slips and slides. But this one, even though it gives that radiance, it doesn't slip and slide. It almost reminds me of the Tom Ford stick foundation, the Traceless Stick Foundation, which is one of my top favorite foundations. This foundation is very similar to that in the way that it wears. And you still get that natural glow to your skin, but it's just not like a dewy mess. Now, is this gonna be a good foundation for the summer? Probably not, unless you do powder it, unless you're just really dry skinned. But this is actually kind of surprising me how much I really, really like this foundation. It's very natural and just really beautiful. And I was looking in the mirror before I come on camera, and honestly, you can't really tell I'm wearing makeup. It's so natural that you really can't tell that I'm wearing makeup. Anyway, I just wanted to turn on the camera, show you guys what this is looking like without any powder. I'm 7 hours in my kitchen again. which I normally never film here in my kitchen, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. So anyways, that's it for this quick check-in, so you guys could see what it looks like without powder. The next time you guys see me, I will be wearing it for 12 hours or longer, and I will definitely get into my full final thoughts. But so far, I have a feeling that I'm gonna love this foundation. So anyways, I will see you guys all in my final thoughts. Okay, everyone, it is time to get into my final thoughts about this foundation. I have been wearing this for the last 4 days, and I have a lot to say about it, but before we get into it, let's go ahead and zoom in and show you guys what this foundation is looking like. It is currently 11:30 at night. I applied this foundation probably around 10 o'clock this morning, so it's been on for 12, 13 hours. Well, almost 14 hours. It's been a really long day. Let me turn down the ring light also, because the ring light always makes everything look better. So today I did powder it. Today I'm wearing the Gucci primer all over the face, and then I used the Cover FX blurring primer like right here in the center of my face, like around my nose, really good, and then right up around my forehead and right here along the chin, just to see if it would help control the shine. So that's what I'm wearing today. But as you can see, it's holding up really well. Yes, I've lost it right around here, around my nose, but that is where I lose a majority of my foundations. By the end of the night, I start to lose like right along here. So this actually holds up better than some of my other foundations. So I'm not mad at that at all. You can see I'm kind of dewy. You can tell I'm a little dewy, little radiant. Overall, this looks really good for 13.5 hours. It really does not look bad. I am very, very impressed with the longevity of this foundation. Right here around my forehead still looks really good. I mean, overall, this just looks so, so, so good. And my eye makeup still looks amazing. I'm wearing the new Natasha Denona Circo Loco palette. That's the palette that I used to create this look, and I'm kind of living for it. I love this blue. In fact, when my husband come home tonight, he was like, oh, I love your eyeshadow. So anyway, all right, let's get back to the foundation. Okay, so I don't think you'll be surprised by this. Overall, I love this foundation. Absolutely beautiful. In fact, you guys know that I recently just reviewed the Natural Nude. I like this one from Givenchy more than this one from Natural Nude, because this one I just had such up and down consistency with it. Like one day it'd be really beautiful, and the next day I was like, ugh, it's not looking so good. I've worn this with so many different things and so many different primers and so many different powders, you know, kind of testing it with no powder, just all different ways. And every single day, it just always looks really beautiful. Yes, I prefer it with powder. I think it's a little glossy without powder, but for those of you that really love that radiant skin, you will love this. I mean, regardless of the fact that the shade is a perfect match to my skin, it's just a beautiful foundation. I mean, I love this. I love the way my skin looks when I wear it. I love just the overall look of it. And the thing that impresses me the most is that it's a very buildable coverage, where I think if you put like a light layer of it, it's just a very light coverage foundation, but you can build it in the wrinkles, in the texture, and it doesn't get cakey or heavy. If you're looking for a very fresh, radiant foundation that does last, I mean, don't get me wrong, it lasts pretty good without powder, but I think it lasts the best with powder. But even if you don't want to wear powder with it, it wears off very naturally and just looks really, really beautiful. Now, if you already have a Radiant foundation in your collection that you love, you probably don't need to run out and grab it. But the next time you're in the market to buy a Radiant foundation, I think you'll enjoy it. Now, I think this is best for those who have dry skin, those who have normal skin but want that radiant finish, or those who have combination skin. You can still wear this, but you're gonna wanna set it really good in that T-zone. Kind of do your prep work. So you're wearing a good oil blocking primer, or, you know, a really good powder in that area, but it's radiant everywhere else. But oily skin, obviously, you guys are probably not gonna wanna try this. It's just, you're gonna be extra duty if you do. But it's beautiful. So those are my thoughts on this new foundation. Sound off down below in the comments section. Let us know, have you guys picked up this foundation? What is your skin type, and do you like it or do you not like it? I am so curious to hear how everybody else is feeling about this foundation. I haven't heard a lot of people mentioning it. I'm so curious. So sound off down below in the comments section. Let us know your thoughts. Thank you so much for hanging out with me in today's video. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Love you. Bye.